everybody. Thank you for joining us for WikiTree Challenge Reveal. For our guest this week is Melissa Barker. Thank you, Melissa, for allowing us to work on your family genealogy this week. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm so glad to be part of it. As we were talking about before we started, it's a lot of us that are in the profession of genealogy. We don't ever get to work on our family, so this is a real treat.
So much fun, so great. So we have also with us Celia Marsh. She's our liaison with the WikiTree participants that take part in the challenge for the week. And just a little bit about Melissa. Melissa is a certified archives manager and public historian, currently working at the Houston County, Tennessee Archives and Museum, affectionately known as the archive lady to the genealogy community. I love that. She lectures, teaches, and writes about the genealogy research process, researching in archives and records preservation. Melissa also conducts virtual presentations across the U.S. and other countries for various genealogy groups and societies. Melissa writes a popular blog entitled A Genealogist in the Archives and is a well-known published book reviewer. She has been researching her own family history for the past 33 years and has been a professional genealogist for the past 19 years with expertise in Tennessee records. All right. So just a little bit about the WikiTree Challenge. If somebody's new to the challenge or hadn't heard about it before, it is our biggest ongoing community event. And every other week, a team of WikiTree volunteers grow connections for a special guest. So Melissa was our guest back in 2021. And when we worked on your family back then, it was mainly pushing back as far as we can for ancestors. Well, this time it was all about increasing your CC7. And the CC7 is basically a person's number of connections on WikiTree within 7 degrees. So connections are family relationships, including relationships through marriage. The degrees degrees measures the distance of the relationship. So nuclear relatives, for example, parents, siblings, spouses, and children are 1 degree away. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, in-laws, and grandchildren are 2 degrees. So they're connected through 2 relationship steps and so on. The higher your CC7 number is, the fuller the branches of your tree are. So that's a little bit about what we did this time. And just to kind of really share, we're asking before we got started who all was in the challenge this year. And this is a little chart to show who all we've done this year. So these are our challenge guests, and these are the distances and relationships between you and them.
Wow.
So I think your closest one is David Allen Lambert at 9th cousin, once removed here. Or no, Randy Seaver, sorry.
Yeah.
And then David Allen Lambert, 9th cousin, twice removed. So that's pretty cool.
I can see the David Allen Lambert connection because I have all my ancestors are from up north, and so
yeah, yep. So that's just a little fun thing I've been kind of maintaining throughout the year.
neat.
And then we also have attached to your profile a category that is WikiTree Challenge guest stars. So this is another way that you can check your connections to all of our past guest stars, even back to 2021. So if you just go into the category, then you can click on the button, My Connections, and it gives you this. It'll show you your ancestors and cousins at the top. So these are all people you have a familial relationship with. And then down here are just the connections. So these are within, through a marriage, not through a family relation. So just kind of fun thing to check out there.
Yeah, thank you for showing me that. I'm looking at it on my tree now.
That's great. All right. So just a little bit about the scoring for the week challenge. We originally had about 16 people sign up, but then we had 10 more after it got started. So we had 26 people take part in total. And we started out with, I believe, let's double check. I think we were at 20,400 something for CC7. And the participants added 665 profiles in 7 degrees of. So, but
Wow.
that is not how much of an increase you got. So let me show you what your increase looks like.
Wonderful.
Okay, so this is what you look like at the beginning of the challenge. Now this is just your public profiles within 7 degrees. Because this app is only looking at the database dump that we do, it's only public profiles that's available for it. So this is what that looks like. At the end of the challenge, it looked like this. So we have
Wow.
1,589
Fantastic.
showing up on your profile. We were hoping to get you over the 5,000 connections so that you would get your 5,000 K badge, but we didn't quite make it there. Let me see, where do I have your profile? I have so many tabs open to show you. So here at the top of your profile, you can see right here, 3,681 connections is where we got you to. So it's pretty great.
Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and start off with the space page. So each week we set up a space page where we can work together and collaborate on your week. Our team captain this week was Karen Lowe. She stepped up to lead the team. And we'll just go ahead and check out the first section here on locations. So this kind of gives you just a list breakout of all the different countries and provinces and states within those countries that we went to.
Oh,
It's
neat.
kind of a fun way to look at it. We'll have another way to look at it in just a moment. So besides Austria, Belgium, Brazil, we also went to Canada, Denmark, England. And so remember, this is anybody within 7 degrees of you. So wherever their family lines went, that's where we went. So we're even in Italy. And
I recognize France because my 8th great grandfather was born in France. He was born in the Jersey Isles off the coast of France.
Yeah. So we had 42 states of the United States, and then 1 territory, Puerto Rico.
Oh.
And then we had Vietnam also showed up.
Ah, interesting.
It's going to be a death, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So the other way that we can look at this is to look at, we have the WikiTree apps. One of the ones is the WikiTree Plus database that we can do maps from. And I'm just going to show that to you real quick here. So we just have a query that we can run against your challenge week. And this is, oh, sorry, I meant to show you this one first. This is your profiles within 7 degrees and the migration pattern for them. So you can see lots of all the way over in Vietnam, even I think up in Alaska, Brazil. So lots of activity there. It's
yeah,
kind of
that's
fun.
Interesting.
And then here's a close-up of the U.S., like you mentioned, in the northern U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then the next image is Europe there, kind of just a close for you. And then I wanted to show, we also have, drilled in to show you a map for the CC7 of your 4 grandparents. So just kind of gives an overview of what that looks like.
That's cool.
So the first one was the LeMaster line.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Curtis line.
Okay.
Bartram. Good spread throughout the U.S. there.
Yeah.
And
look at
this line, the CC7, was over 12K.
Oh, okay.
That was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. And then here is the Drummond line.
Yes.
So it's really a lot of fun. So just to kind of, these are just a image that we took of the database map. But I'm going to show you if it'll work. When you're actually in the WikiTree apps, the WikiTree Plus map, we can see the search is looking for CC7 of the Drummond line here. That's what the search is looking at. But
sure.
You can see now, you can zoom in.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it'll break out here.
Probably should have zoomed in on Australia where there was only one.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. So it'll load up here in just a second. Let's see. Go over here. Go up to Alaska. There we go. So you can see, you can keep drilling down and you can find out exactly where that's at. And actually, if you click on this little dot, it'll actually take you to the information about that profile.
Gotcha.
So then you can go to the profile and check out more about it.
Neat. Love that.
Yeah, it's just a really great tool that we have on WikiTree.
A lot of ways to visualize our
data.
Yeah, and I'm a visual learner, so that's really a good way to see it.
Yeah, there's lots of different layers that you can apply. Well, there's so much you can do with it. It's really great. It's really a lot of fun. So here's the let's see, Drummond 3. Oh, I have it up there twice. I did it for each of the grandparents there, I thought, but it saved it from the first one. Okay. Well, you get an idea of what that looks like.
Yes.
So here's Bartram that I was telling you about. He's got CC7 of 12,299 profiles within 7 degrees. And then right here's the link for WikiTree map, WikiTree Plus map. So that's how you would get there. But you can do a lot within this page. The way I got the list of countries that we went to is just, we can group by birth country, or lots of different ways you can group the data. So you can see there how that's,
I like that.
Yeah, it's really a great tool.
Yeah, it is.
So just some ways to use it there. Okay, and then I just want to show you some more wonderful apps.
I like apps.
So we have Hacktoberfest that's been happening this month. It's a yearly event that happens all during the month of October, where the developers get together and work on developing apps or improving previous apps that they'd worked on previously. This one's a new one this year. I think it's still in the works, but here's kind of a preview of it. It is a heritage chart. So it gives you a breakout of your heritage. I think at the
specifically, it's what where your parents were born, or where the parents of each profile was born.
Yeah, so if you break it down to the detail, here's your parents, United States, grandparents, United States. But when you get up into 3 times great grandparents, it starts breaking it out more. So if you would say 10 generations and look at that, and we scroll to the bottom, towards the bottom, you can see the breakout is more. Okay. Yeah. So that's just something they're working on, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah, pretty
It's really
exciting.
good for me. 'Cause like I said, I'm a visual learner, so I love to see things like this.
Yeah. And so those are all available on your profile. Let me change from the reading mode here. Your tree apps tab right here.
Okay.
It will show up and it's going to give you whatever the last one you had was. But you can see there's a whole list
Yeah, I see
in
that.
here of different ways you can view your family tree, basically. So,
Yep.
and here
Neat.
is a way to look at the WikiTree Plus maps of ancestors of you. You can do this from any profile. So, and
Yeah.
you can see the birth to death migration pattern, but you can also have a layer for, let's see here, color by century or draw by generation. I think I have to take off these. Lots of ways to just view it differently here. Let me see if that's going to draw for me. All right, maybe it's not. All right, we'll go on to the next one. That was the, what's that?
Sometimes you have to like play around with what boxes get checked and what ones don't, because sometimes I think it might need higher up on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But it is it's worth playing around with it. I couldn't get it to work at all for a while, because it wouldn't. I didn't have the background, or I had the background check and I didn't have people checked, and no one would show up. And I was like, "What am I doing wrong? Why is it so easy for everybody else?"
Yeah, Greg does it so easily, doesn't he? He's usually the one that does all these for us. He actually created some of the apps. So yeah, he has this is a really great thing that I love. It's a generational statistics.
Yes.
Information. You can add more generations. So just a great way to see how that lines up for you. And like I was mentioning, Greg, he developed this app it's called the Super Tree for viewing your trees to see. You can increase the number of generations up, descendants down. You can add it so it shows your in-laws and siblings, aunts and uncles. There is so much you can do with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Looks great.
And when you get up, and if there's some pedigree collapse, it'll show you the matching ancestor will have a halo around it, so you can see where that matching ancestor is. Just so much you can do.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's loading. I'll go to the next few here, and this is another one of his apps. It's the fan chart, which is another fully featured options you have for this. You can have it show you the information for changing the colors by grandparents, by biocheck status, which just is looking for if there's work that needs done on the biography or the profile. You can have it different colors. Just so much you can do. You can also have it show DNA information, inheritance. So it's really a great app that he has there.
Yeah,
I like doing the locations.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And it also shows you where you might need to clean up the data. It's only as good as the data that's in it.
Yeah.
So the first time I did it, I was like, why do I have 47,000 different places? People who all live in the U.S. And it's because it was like Illinois, Indiana, 14 different versions of the Massachusetts colonies.
Yeah. And here is another new app for the tree apps. It's called the Slippy Tree.
Yeah.
And it is really cool. You can change the focus person, load family. You You can see Slippy because it really just slides right out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Low descendants. And another just great way to look at the information. If you have
the more visuals, the better for me.
If you have DNA confirmations in place, the thickness of these lines from parent to child is changed to be thicker to indicate that.
Oh, that's cool.
There's ways that you can highlight these different boxes by location or categories. So lots to do with that one too. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So in-laws, aunts, uncles. Okay. Still, now it's loading some cousins. You got a lot more family on here now.
That's great.
All right, so let's go ahead and while we're waiting for that to load, let's go ahead and share some of the interesting finds from your week.
Good.
Let's see here. Okay, so Lisa was sharing that one of the profiles out there and within 7 degrees was Samuel Loveth Ramsey. He was married in Ohio in 1923, divorced in 1925 in Virginia, married in 1931, claiming he'd never been married. So there's more about that on his profile. Let's open that up. There's a couple of profiles out there like that that was found. So just kind of interesting. It looks like it was Bertha Sheets, but he had been previously married to Adonna Wilson, but he had indicated he had been married before. So don't know what that's about, but
yeah.
But there is a notable painter out on your branches.
Oh, neat.
Bernard Carfoyle. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Sorry about that.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it either. This was one of this family was fascinating. He's the first wife of like a cousin's, or first husband related to the first husband of a cousin's wife. And the family they were Jewish and they'd apparently been moving around. So a bunch of them were born in Germany, end up in the Netherlands on a bunch of censuses, then move to France and then to the US where they get naturalized. And then they go back to France again. But so it was a
interesting
big chain. Some of the he's a cousin of the first person. It was very useful. They all had, it's very hard to confuse this name with anything else, which I
yeah.
Smith families. But some of his cousins, not surprisingly, ended up in the dying in the Holocaust.
Sure.
But so I flagged those for the Holocaust part.
Wow, he even has a Wikipedia page.
He does.
Very cool.
Maybe they'll
I can't even draw a stick person.
There he is. Nice to see a picture. We can get his picture uploaded to WikiTree.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's great.
Actually, it was awesome because his family had already moved over to the U.S. He was born when they went back to see the family. So,
wow.
I liked that.
Pure painter. Nice. That's really great. Thanks so much for that, Celia.
Yeah, that was great.
We have Louis James Bench was convinced in 1837 that his gun was possessed by a spell. So he ran across this Alan Speary, claimed that he knew methods to remove the spell.
Okay.
So there's kind of a story there that was left by Homer Thiel. So that'll be fun to kind of look into for you.
Yeah.
And we have Bertram Bernard O'Neill and Cecil Edna DeBolt.
Yes.
Were a popular couple in their community, and they surprised their friends by getting married secretly in August and waiting until December to announce it.
Yep.
All right, and then we have Samuel Furby, who
yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he had looks like he had let's see here. Lost my thought here. He had a foster child. He actually ended up marrying her and had some children with her when he was in his 70s. So that's kind of notorious gentleman there. Let's see who else we have on the list. There's Lewis Bench, and this must be the article about him that was attached. Virginia Free Press. So you can check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to go read that.
And then we also had Herman Haller Royston Jr. That was killed in action in France during World War II.
Okay.
So D-Day occurred on June 6th. His death would have occurred later in the month as forces advanced further into France. So he died on the 23rd of June, it looks like. So we've got his sticker there for the, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So they've got enlistment records and an article there about him. And then we have Wallace Jennings Chafin, was a World War II veteran and a coal miner. Unfortunately, he died in a coal mining explosion in the Bishop number 34 mine disaster. That was in February 4th, 1957. So his profile is here. There's a picture of him, it looks like. And they worked on his profile pretty good. They filled it out real nice.
Yeah, look at there. Looks good. I like the picture too.
Yes, I love it when there's pictures.
Yeah.
It just brings them really home to us. And then there's a question, marriage scandal, Estelle Blanche, is it Bonner?
I say Bonnier.
Bonnier?
Yeah.
So it says, must have had an interesting life with her first husband, David Porter. They married for the first time in 1897. It says not to publish on the record. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
By 1900, they had a son. In 1905, they marry again in Pennsylvania. David states that he was married but divorced his first wife. And again, it says the record says do not publish. In 1910, they're living in Ohio. So it's kind of interesting to see what happened there. So,
could you go back up to Bartram, William Sherman Bartram? I just saw his name. Yeah. The last part of that little paragraph there, it says William's son Benjamin Franklin was accidentally shot. That story I actually know because I found it years ago in a newspaper article, which I ran across looking for something else, one of those things. And it was my grandfather, Forrest Cecil Bartram, who was 17 at the time. He accidentally shot and killed his brother, Benjamin Franklin, when Benjamin Franklin was 19 years old. And I have the newspaper article because the way that the title is it's CCC because he was in the CCC at the time. Boy shot and killed. They were out hunting and he accidentally shot and killed him. And I didn't find this out till way after my grandfather had passed away.
So tragic.
Yeah, it is. Explains my grandfather was a very quiet man, and so I often wondered about how this affected him because when you find things out like that later on, you wonder how it affected.
Yeah,
people,
their whole life. Yeah, that's
and
hard.
my mother, who was his daughter never even knew about it. The family never knew about that.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, you don't go around telling everybody that you accidentally shot your brother,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Funny story, guys.
Yeah. Yep, that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
But it's all part of our genealogy. That's one of the things that I really teach genealogists about is that, don't shy away from this stuff because it's history and we need to tell our ancestors' full story.
And it informed their personality. I mean, that it shaped their personality and who they became and everything. So it's good to know all those things, even if they're hard to hear.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's just check in with our comments in the live chat here. We have quite a couple people showing up. Looks like you have some fans out there. John Tyner, we call him Irish John, saying good morning because he's in Ireland, so he's on a different time zone. Kathy Nava, she says, if you watch Relative Race and watch Gen Friends, Melissa is one of the Gen Friends who talks about what happens on Relative Race.
Yes, I'm part of the panel of Gen Friends. We've been going strong now for several years, and when Relative Race is on, we cover it every week. We record on Monday nights, and then it comes out on Wednesdays. But we cover each episode, so it's been a lot of fun.
That is great. Yeah, I know. I've heard about it from Eowyn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When she can, she hops on with us.
All right. So one thing that's available from the score sheet across the top here is this link for distances. And what that does is it shows you your distance from the challenge participants.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. There weren't a lot of changes, but some of them were quite large changes. So let me go ahead and
it can be really hard if we've got common ancestors. Even when we fix the numbers, even when we get closer relative connections in general, the numbers may not change.
Yeah.
Because we're 10th cousins.
So already. Here, just a few that were 1 or 2 changes. But then we have one that actually increased by 8 because there was some kind of probably pruning that happened. Somebody found some.
It went from being a connection to a bloodline.
Okay. Yeah, but it can also happen because of
it can
pruning.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So the next one though is 9. It dropped 9 degrees from 32 to 23. That's kind of exciting. There's one, but then this is the biggest one I've ever seen, a 10-degree drop from 26 degrees to 16 degrees. We're getting pretty close there.
Yeah, that's
is fun. So that's just a kind of a fun little tool that we look at just to see if we can increase our connections to our challenge guest. And actually, you and I are 8th cousins once removed.
Oh, hello, cousin.
Hi. That's another thing that we have.
That's great.
It's just nice to see when you go to somebody's profile, you can see how far away you are from them.
Yeah.
So
that's fantastic.
So her view is an app. You can also see it the long way on any profile without the app.
Yeah, so you just.
But I love having the app everywhere I go.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier. The WikiTree browser extension and all the tools that we have. So if you go to any ancestor profile or a member profile and just go to the profile ID menu and do connection to me or relationship to me, you can put in any 2 profiles like we have down here is you and I, and it shows the relationship paths.
Okay, cool.
So it's up your Lemaster to, I'm sorry, you said, is it?
Bonnier.
Bonnier.
That's how I pronounce it. Yeah.
To a ward. And that's what is, for me, it's a Phelps to the ward line.
Okay.
So yeah, just fun.
Neat.
And we have Amy Crooks actually was our MVP for the week.
Oh,
she got the most profiles added. And she's your 12th cousin, it looks like. Everybody's checking.
All right. Getting all kinds of cousins.
Yeah. And we have Anne, who is 22 degrees away from you. Dr. Shelley Murphy is saying hello.
Cousins, yep. Dr. Shelley and I are cousins.
Yep, this is great. All right. So, Celia, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about or share?
Not that I can think of. We did a lot of the. So your tree had. Sometimes we get trees which have a whole lot of new profiles, starting from scratch. In your case, because your lines go through the Appalachians, there were lots and lots of existing profiles that we tapped into.
That's good.
So we had to Anne was saying it as well. We do a lot of, some people do just making new profiles and some people do just cleaning up existing stuff. You don't get as many points, but it helps the tree. It all helps the tree.
Yeah, so we had the participants added 655 profiles, but you had an increase of 1,250 profiles within 7 degrees. So it was almost double because of adding, connections to already existing profiles. Sure. So that was really fun.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I did just want to, because it's coming up this weekend and you are a speaker this weekend, I did want to just share about the WikiTree Week and Symposium that's coming up this weekend. And registration is still open. It's free and it gets you registered for winning a door prize. And then if you go to the symposium schedule, you can see that Melissa, her talk is going to be at 8 p.m. on the first day. And I'm just going to pop that into the live chat here. And that's November 1st. So just the day after tomorrow is when it starts. I'm so excited.
I believe they're available afterwards as well.
Yes.
Can't make it at the time.
Yep, that's right. The videos will be available for 30 days after they've gone live. And so you have plenty of time to check them out. All right.
Fantastic. Awesome.
All right. And then, I have some more people saying hello. Okay. Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up.
Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for asking me to participate. Yeah, like I said, those of us that do this for a living, we don't get a chance to work on our own families. And so it's fantastic to have others work on this and to show some fantastic information and connections.
Yeah. And the more connections that are out there, the more people that can connect to you. Yep. So good. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get signed off. Thank you again, Celia, for your work, and Melissa for having us be able to work on your tree. And again, everybody, be sure to get signed up for the WikiTree Week and Symposium. And also tomorrow morning, there will be a live cast all about the WikiTree Week and Symposium. Be sure to tune in for that. That's at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. And we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.